Football Friday, everyone. Welcome to Trojan Media Productions. High school football glory coming up on our Hoosier State. Hi, everybody. My name is Kaz Burdett, and week number one of the high school football season, and a dandy one going on in our area tonight. The team is ranked number one in Class 4A, the defending state champions from last year, the East Central Trojans, started the 2023 season against a team that also had a successful year last year, made a trip to the state finals in Class 3A. They're ranked number two going in, the Lawrenceburg Tigers. Now, the past several years of this rival, the Trojans have won every game they played since 1993, including last year's 38-8 win at Trojan Field. And joining me again this year, an honor and pleasure. We got Josh Benjamin joining us again. Last year, the Trojans had a magical season, state champions. Tigers also had a fantastic year this year. And I think with a lot of fans and with a lot of media, they're looking for a fantastic season this year. What a way to start off the season.
Yes, Cass, thank you for having me, and thank you, Trojan Media Productions, for having me as well. The Trojan seasons last year, the 2022 season, state championship, of course, and coming back and trying to repeat. We have plenty of that to talk about coming up, but you get the Lawrenceburg Tigers in the county. They want to win it the very first game of the season, and it's going to be a nice one.
On the way, matter of moments, a couple big interviews. Lily Ford will have an interview, and also a big interview as well.
Yes, I interview Eli Earl coming up with the defensive line items and different tips and tricks, and also Colton Clem interviewing Noah Brown.
Thank you, guys. I'm here today with freshman guard Noah Brown. How are you feeling today, Noah?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. If we're looking at Lawrenceburg's D-line, they got all junior seniors. They're about like 6'5", 270. Do you think you're physically capable to take on this?
Yeah, all summer long I've been lifting, working out, and then during practices I go up against our guys, so I've been kind of getting used to it.
It's good preparation. What advice has Coach Medlock given you, or maybe some of your other teammates, maybe the older guys on your team? Like, what are they expecting you to do at this level of high school sports?
Well, first off, the game is very fast compared to what I'm used to back in middle school. Then other thing is that they said if you ever have any trouble, just ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Best way to learn is to make the mistake and then go on.
Best of luck for you and your season. And this is Colton Clem from Trojan Media Productions. I'm signing off, and I'm sending it over to Lily Ford with number 15.
Thanks, Colton. Today I'm here with East Central's running back, Josh Ringer. Josh, let's talk about the offseason. You have committed to play football at Miami University next year. Can you walk us through the recruiting process and what that's like?
Well, at first it was really stressful, but then ever since I committed, I've had a lot more free time, so that's been more exciting, but I'm really blessed to be where I'm at right now.
All right. What does it mean for you now that you have your future locked up for the way you play football and just for your life at home?
I mean, I don't want that to change the way I play or anything. I mean, my family's really excited, so I just want to go out there for my senior season.
All right. Team expectations this year are sky high. You are a preseason Mr. Football candidate. Are you feeling any stress, or do you embrace those expectations?
I mean, not really. Mr. Football has never exactly been my goal. I just want our team to have a really successful season. I just want to help them any way I can.
Thank you, Josh, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
I'm Lily Ford with Trojan Media.
Thank you very much. Outstanding interviews that we just did, and hard to believe, Josh, last year the East Central Trojans won the state championship. 1994, their first state championship. 2017, their second state championship. Took 23 years to do that. Last year, their third state championship only took 5 years. I think you kind of know where I'm coming from on this one.
Yes.
They're looking to make that third to fourth state championship much shorter with many people. This year seems like a good year to do so.
Yes, quite a few key returners coming back. Obviously, Cole Burton. You have Josh Ringer, the Mr. Football candidate. A little fun fact with that Mr. Football candidate. The last time East Central had a Mr. Football candidate and they won Mr. Football was in 1994. When they won the state title. So
that was Josh Martini.
Yes, Josh Martini was that winner of 1994 season and Mr. Football candidate there. But also coming into this season, you do have some key returners, but it's a different roster. And so is every roster they're going to face this year on their schedule. So obviously they want to repeat, but that should be in the back of their mind. They should take one game at a time. I know it's cliche, but they have to do that to be able to be successful in every game.
And all the way just a matter of moments, I'll be speaking with head football coach of the East Central Trojans, Jake Miners. And Josh, you have an interview too.
Yes, I have Eli Ertl talking about defensive line tips and tricks. In this segment, I'm here with senior defensive lineman Eli Ertl. We're going to talk about some defensive line tactics and tips. Eli, thanks for joining us today. The first thing we're going to talk about is stance. So Eli, can you elaborate and give us some basic tips on your stance?
So usually, about a yard off the ball and feet are about shoulder width apart. You can stagger your foot a little bit. Doesn't really matter if you do or not. And then whatever hand you're most comfortable with goes down. Put a lot of pressure down on your hand. You don't need to keep your head up or anything. And then the way we take our step, take a lateral step first, either way. And then the second step is up, third step's up. Then lock on to the dude, press him off you, try to get him off you. And then make sure you can find the ball, stay low so you don't get driven back. And that's about it.
Can you show us what it looks like? Can you show us the stance, what it looks like?
So usually about right here.
You got that outside foot just back a little bit to push off?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can come up. Is there anything that you do to know the count, to look down? Do you have your eye looking down the line of scrimmage at the ball?
Yeah, I usually look out of the corner of my eye to see when the ball's moving. Or I can just kind of tell when the O-line's moving because they start to hunch up a little bit.
Okay, nice. I also want to bring up two different types of blocks you probably see on Friday nights. The first block is a down block, and the center will be right here, and this will be the left tackle. Okay, and so you see this offensive lineman go to down block. What's your initial steps there, and what's that look like for you?
So if I'm angling towards him,
Okay.
I just want to post him up, hold my ground, don't let him push me downfield. Because if he down blocks, the ball's probably going to come right here, and I have to be able to come back and make the play right here. So pretty much just keep him off you. If you can just throw him off you, that's good. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Hold your ground.
So let's see that. So if you don't mind getting in your stance and then acting as this, I'm going to move this off to the side a little bit, and I'm going to be that lineman. So set, go. We're going down. So you're trying to stay parallel with me.
Yeah.
And then trying to keep that gap integrity, but also making sure nothing gets outside of you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Let's look at the next block, which it involves a down block to some extent, is blocking away from you, but having the backside guard or tackle pull block come out to try to kick you out and try to have that running back, quarterback, or even the jet sweep come underneath you. So let's talk about the pull block. How do you approach that?
So if I'm going out and he goes down, I usually see the guard coming. So I'll take my right arm and right leg and wrong arm through just to clog everything up. And then our linebacker will be right here. So if the running back bounces out, he can make the play.
So you two kind of take on the outside lineman or the guard, so to speak, when it comes to that pull block.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Eli, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it very much.
It's a pleasure.
Now we're going to head to Kaz with Coach Miners.
We're back with Trojan Media Productions. Our Catholic Kickoff rolls on. Tonight kicks off the 2023 season. The Trojans and the Tigers, number 1 and 4A versus number 2 and 3A, kicking off at 7 o'clock at the Pit. It's my honor and pleasure bringing in the head football coach, the East Central Trojans, Jake Miners. Coach, first welcome to our Catholic Kickoff. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's great to be kicking off the football season.
Coach, 266 days ago, November, the Friday of Thanksgiving weekend, the East Central Trojans last played football game. It was a fantastic game. The Trojans captured their third state championship. And from there on to right now, a lot of excitement going on. Celebration of the champions from last year and also the transition of this year's team. Tell us all the feelings, everything that's been going on.
Yeah, first of all, we were super excited to win the state championship, the third in school history, just for our guys to be able to experience that moment, the community to be able to celebrate together around high school football. It was an amazing experience. We did take time to celebrate it, but, once January hit, we turned the page towards this season, got back in the weight room, and have been, advancing towards the season ever since then. So, We've been getting through the summertime, getting through camp and all that stuff, and really getting excited here for the upcoming season. So, we learned a lot from last year, but last year's in the past, and we're very happy about the results of last year. But we really have to push forward, and it's a new year, it's a new football season, so we got to push forward this year.
As of every year, you lose a lot of players due to graduation. They were seniors last year. However, the cupboard not bare for the Trojans this year. A lot of great players that were on both sides of the ball coming back this year, and also some great young players, new players come in. Tell us who some of the standouts going to be.
Yeah, so, the last couple of years we've actually been a fairly young football team in high school football terms, and we did graduate a great senior class from last year. But, the high school football adage is graduation is a healthy thing. It provides opportunities for other guys to step into larger roles, and we have high expectations for those guys this year. So we do return a great group. It starts with our quarterback, Cole Burton, coming back, Josh Ringer in the backfield, Ryan Brotherton, Noah Schneider, and RJ Sig up front on offense. And defense, we return most of our linebackers, and Braden Rouse, Connor Kuhn, and Dylan Maxwell. Return a lot of experienced guys in the secondary. From the state championship game, we only returned one true starter, but in Carson Pazonka. But Moses Wheat, Chase Bellman, Jace Dorsey, those guys all played significant minutes for us last year, and were starters at different points of the season. So those guys are experienced. Up front, we bring back Eli Ertl. He's a great football player for us. So, yes, we returned a nice nucleus this year that have high expectations of themselves, have high expectations of this football team. But now we're a veteran group. This group is trial tested, and they've played in a lot of big football games. So the expectations are high, but what we have to do is we can't put pressure on ourselves. We have to take it a week by week, just challenge ourselves to improve and win football games each week.
And look at the upcoming schedule for the Trojans. Most same teams you played from last year in the regular season, except for one game. Tell us about the season and some of the key games that the Trojans are got marked on the calendar.
Yeah, so our schedule is always really tough, especially at the beginning of the season with Lawrenceburg, Harrison, and then Moeller. Then we get into the rest of our conference schedule. Opening up at the Pit, that's a tough game. And Lawrenceburg's a great football program, a great football team. Then we go against Harrison. Obviously, that's our rival. Moeller. Everybody knows about Moeller being one of the top teams, not just in Ohio, but in the tri-state area, and they get a lot of publicity nationally as being a great football program. Then we get into our conference. The rest of our conference play with Franklin County, Batesville, South Dearborn, Connorsville, and the new but old addition is Greensburg back on the schedule for this year. Unfortunately, we lost the Guerin Catholic game, but fortunately, we picked back up Greensburg. Then we finished off the year with our traditional rival as well, especially here recently in Roncalli, which is another tough opponent before moving into the playoff time. So on a week-by-week basis, it's going to be a challenge, but we want it that way. We want to be prepared moving into the playoffs, and our guys, when you step into East Central's football program, you understand that you're going to play big football games every week.
Tonight, football Friday night starts off the season. You travel to Lawrenceburg, the Pit, take on the Tigers. Lawrenceburg, similar to what you guys have as far as tournament success, like the Trojans, went to the state finals last year in 3A. Ranked number 2 going to the preseason polls, and obviously some great players coming back, a lot of high expectations, a lot of optimism going on at Lawrenceburg. Ought to be a great game.
Yeah, anytime you get two teams that played in the state finals last year to open up the season, that's a great football game. And Lawrenceburg has such a great tradition down there. Coach Kaniga has done a wonderful job with his staff and his players building that thing up, and it seems like they're making playoff run after playoff run. So it's going to be a challenge. We have to go down and play in the Pit. That's emotions are always high. It's tight quarters down there, but one of the cooler venues to play a high school football game. And they're ranked number 2 in 3A, and rightfully so. They have a great football team, a great nucleus coming back, high expectations down there as well. So it's definitely going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle of 2 Dearborn County schools, and that's great for both communities. Both communities really support their football programs, really rally around high school football. So it's going to be a great night at the Pit.
In addition to the Trojans and Tigers, the EIAC, which deservedly so from success last year and what they have coming back this year, any other teams that EIAC think could be a surprise or could make some noise?
Well, if you're going to ask me, all of them. The EIAC, I think it's proven over the last several years that that's a very tough football conference. With Lawrenceburg making deep runs, Batesville's always right there. South Dearborn won the 3A side of the conference last year. Franklin County is going to be much improved. Connorsville is much improved. Rushville is much improved. Greensburg with their new head coach coming in from New Pal, I expect them to be improved. So up and down our conference, it's just going to be a challenge week after week. And I just think it's a great football conference that's going to be very competitive. So, I think that every week's going to be a challenge, and I wouldn't be shocked, if there's a couple ties for conference championships.
Also going into the season, usually the Trojans are always a team that people look out for their schedule, from the success. But how's it coming in being the defending champions, going in for your team? And also, of course, other teams definitely want to up their game when they play you guys on Friday nights.
Yeah, we've talked a lot this offseason about, winning the state championship and understanding the fact that you're going to get every team's best shot. I feel like last year, at least 4A, we kind of flew under the radar a little bit to Roncalli and New Pal, and those are great football programs too. So, but our guys know that we get everybody's best shot on a week-to-week basis. It doesn't matter if we're coming off the state championship or not, because of the tradition that we have here at East Central and the years of winning football games. We typically get everybody's best shot, so we do have to be prepared for that. But our guys are pretty used to playing with a target on their back.
And hard to believe, of all the games going on in football Friday night in our Hoosier State, the Trojans and Tiger team, the only game with two teams that are playing against each other actually played for the state championship in the respective classes last year. So definitely going to be a big one for the fans. I know there's excitement for the team as well. Yeah,
and it's week one, so there's excitement around kicking off the football season. And then you have two Dearborn County opponents going against each other, that school districts butt up against each other. So there's obviously, it's a big game from that aspect. And then you throw in, the rankings and all that sort of stuff. But I think Coach Kaniga would say the same thing. Those are preseason polls. We haven't played at all this year. They haven't played at all this year. So we're just expecting to come into a tough football game. We're expecting a dogfight. I know Coach Kaniga will have his boys prepared, and it's what better way to kick off the Indiana high school football season than two top 5 opponents against each other.
Any final thoughts, Coach?
We're just excited to kick things back off. The off season can get a little long. Our guys are ready to play against somebody else. I think they're tired of going against each other. So we're just really excited to be back. It's the best time of the year, kicking off Indiana high school football.
Coach Barr, it's always great to get the chance to speak with you, talk about football. Congratulations on last year's season, and the best of luck with the Trojans for 2023.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's East Central Trojans head football coach Jake Miners. We have more on the way in our countdown to kickoff, the Trojans versus the Tigers. Thanks for joining us on Trojan Media Productions. Thank you for joining us. Our countdown to kickoff on Trojan Media Productions. I'm Kaz Bennett along with Josh Benjamin. And want to mention a couple things with Trojan Media Productions. Our first football game, next football Friday night, week number 2 of the overall schedule. It is the I-74 border. The East Central Trojans take out the Harrison Wildcats, kick it off at 7:30. And we're excited to have our crew back. We have Aaron Jackson joining us again. And also new to the broadcast team, Jeff Bond. So we're excited to have Jeff Bond joining us. And also Andrew Shaver's done a fantastic job doing the stats. So that looks good. And also with Josh again this year, we're going to have a fun year.
Yes, it should be a great time.
Also going on as well, Trojan Media Productions. Tomorrow, Saturday, we'll have girls soccer going on, our first actual sports broadcast of the year. The East Central Lady Trojans will take on the Floyd Central Lady Hilltoppers. JV will get started at 11 o'clock, and we'll have the varsity starting at 1 o'clock. Again, that's coming up tomorrow on Trojan Media Productions. Be sure to check that out. And also Tuesday night, volleyball. The East Central Lady Trojans take on the Rushville Lady Lions, so be sure to check that one out as well. Also, we want to make a shout out, Josh, to our area Trojan teams. They got some big games coming up tomorrow. The boys tennis team will go to Richmond for their I'll take that back. The boys tennis team will be hosting their invitationals tomorrow morning. Volleyball will be going to Southport for the invitationals. That's outside the Indianapolis area. And the boys and girls cross country team make a trip up to Richmond for their invite. So been a busy season for the Trojans, as Mr. Tom Black mentioned the announcements that the varsity team so far this year unblemished. Hopefully that streak continues throughout the weekend.
Yes, a lot of success there.
And also going on tonight, high school football in our area, of course, the Trojans and the Tigers. The Harrison Wildcats, who the Trojans play next weekend, they will be traveling to the Cleves North Bend area, taking on the Taylor Yellow Jackets. Franklin County visits Newcastle. It is South Dearborn on the road against Jennings County. Rushville visits Milan. It is Connorsville visiting Richmond. Batesville hosts Indian Creek, and Greensburg will host Shelbyville. So there's a bunch of area games going on in our EIAC conference tonight. And Josh, any final thoughts before you wrap up?
I'm just very excited to get back and get going. Thank you to Trojan Media Productions for having us again and being able to do something like this, and go Trojans.
And a big thanks, Josh. Glad to have Josh back again this year. And also big thanks to Kevin Leach and Spencer Powell for all the work they do, and also our crews helping out with the interviews this week, and also get ready for a big week next week with our Football Friday debut, the Trojans and the Wildcats, the I-74 border war. And also big thanks to you, our viewers, all checking out Trojan Media Productions, not only for our sports events, for all the events. So check out TrojanMediaProductions.com. For Trojan Media Productions, Josh Benjamin, I'm Kaz Burdett. Enjoy your weekend. Go Trojans.